Yeah, it depends
Yeah,
on
but then
exactly
it's
stuff.
got to be wild swung and crit,
True.
which
Oh, wrong on all counts. It is Linne versus Anji. 6 versus 7.
Linne versus Anji.
Yeah, alright, Rose has a pretty
Ooh,
solid Linne. I remember developing Linne early, developing in the sense of competitive play, early after release, when the previews were out, folks were starting to pick up characters and play around, and Rose's Linne has grown since then. I fear and respect this character in her hands. Adwins Anji, I don't know particularly well. I'm trying to remember if I've actually seen him play Anji.
I
Feels.
don't. I don't see a lot of people play Anji, which I think is a mistake. I think
I play a decent
highly
amount of
underrated
Anji.
character.
I play Anji in secrets, away from the public eye. No one must know.
Uh,
Um,
yeah, I think
hmm.
highly underrated character. Uh,
Yeah, so Linne notably with no printed defenses except for 3 armor on Skyfangs, which it might not even have because it doesn't work against lower attacks. But with every single boost, if she hits her opponent, allows her to take the next turn because they all have hit gain advantage on them. So she's capable of unleashing a flurry of attacks in succession. Relatively low reward, but very, what's the word? Very reliable, right? Like very lot of positioning control.
consistent.
Yeah, very consistent. Anji notably, kind of the inverse here, has printed defenses on every card. With a minimum of 3 guard on every special or ultra except for the one that is stun immune, so it doesn't need any printed guard. And just in case that wasn't enough, he can use his ability to reduce his own speed but gain even more guard, or if he's in Exceed mode, armor. So, very defensive character, at least in the sense of his attack shapes, not necessarily in the sense
Well,
of
he
playstyle.
also has a fair bit of advantage himself, though.
Oh yes, yeah, Fujin giving you advantage, and
Yeah,
Fujin an unbelievably consistent attack shape, right? Speed 5 with 3 guard and before close 2 with range 1 and 2, so it's kind of like an assault that hits from starting positions and doesn't lose to cross at range 1, like, or grasp for that matter.
yeah,
Sheesh, ridiculous.
yeah, it's pretty defining in his hit. Obviously, it doesn't hit super hard,
Hmm.
but
Yeah,
it hits,
but it
and
hits.
sometimes that's all you need.
Yep, and with the draw and advantage, it's always not, advantage is great. You can spend your turn to prepare if you need more cards. Drawing and getting advantage is fantastic because maybe you don't need to spend your turn because you drew the follow up that you didn't have a moment ago. He also has
Yeah, it
Okizeme.
shortcuts it.
Yeah, now draw 2 after gain advantage. Excuse me, a cancelable boost. So as a season 7 character, if he has gauge, then when he plays a card that a boost, excuse me, that has the cancelable icon, this little clock with the 1 gauge icon, he can spend a gauge to take another action, allowing him to continue his turn as long as he's willing to burn up his super meter. Okay, we're already striking. This
They
is turn 1. Anji's initiating. That is dive into Skyfangs. He's going to win cleanly, breaking through that 3 armor to hit for 2 and
Ooh,
stun.
it's only 2 damage, but hitting into Skyfangs is really nice.
Yeah, now
That card
I
can
wonder
be
if that
frustrating.
Skyfangs was played expecting to lose or if it was calling out a Shitsu. Alright, now Anji did not have advantage. Linne is now boosting Sidestep. Names the normal strikes. Name card cannot hit you. Probably name something like Sweep. Let's see. Flying Swallow. He responds with Focus, and she elects to... Yeah. You hit, and then after you advance 3 and draw. So she's going to evade the Focus, ducking out to range 3, which means that didn't go to gauge. There we go. Corrected.
Not stunned though, so you still do get your draw on your focus.
Yes, he benefited from the armor and from the after effects. Definitely not a waste of a play. Linne at range
And
3 prepares. Okay.
Anji does prefer 3/1, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, solid at both. I like his mix-ups at a lot of ranges. Into Linne, I think I would prefer 3 over 1 or 2 even. Then again,
Well,
Diviner's pretty annoying.
just Diviner's annoying wherever you are. Like that's going to be a problem regardless.
True.
So
Once she has 2 gauge, yeah. Anji boosting Okizeme, but not canceling. Just has drawn a bunch of cards and has after gain advantage of the next attack, which is pretty funny because like Linne with all her gain advantage boosts now could be stymied by that. She instead boosts Mix Up, closes to range 2 and strikes, draws 1 after setting her attack. Range 2 Linne with 1 gauge is worrying. I would not want to deal with this Mix Up.
there's not much you can do about the mix-up. Is the problem?
Yeah, if Anji happens to have that Speed 5 special we were talking about, he can actually come in on Elusive Flash. Normally you need to play Assault, which is kind of a hard read situation. It's pretty unsafe at range 2. but it is like the way you answer elusive flash if that's what's being threatened. Of course, it might not be elusive flash. It could be a bunch. Okay, we've got a response. It is Fujin. It is elusive flash. Fujin going to beat that cleanly, closing into range 1, hitting for 3.
Ooh.
All right, good play by Anji. Good call.
Bit like start of the last game, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
With Adwins making all the right reads nice and early.
Feels like it. All right. Well, Linne having spent the gauge, I think, is the main problem for her, because momentum is king in air dashers. I think Linne is no exception. She really wants to be able to unleash a flurry of blows without her opponent getting a chance to catch their breath in response. And it's pretty hard to stop Anji
Well,
from
it
doing
also
that.
helped. And losing that ultra as well. Not
True.
only the gauge, but also the unbalanced trade it represents.
Yep. Oh my! Okay, we have a turnabout. Anji initiates at range 1, good old-fashioned sweep. Linne responds with EX sweep. Clean stun.
Ooh.
Oh, brutal. And actually sweeps out a copy of Rin, which, by the way, would have beaten the EX sweep. He would have won that speed tie and stuns Linne. Alright, she's using her character ability to draw some cards back up to range 2 and give her opponent a card as a way to counteract the free movement, as it were. But yeah, that losing cleanly when you play a sweep is devastating, especially when you lose against something that does as much damage as, for example, sweep. Ooh.
Though the good side about losing to EX sweep is your opponent doesn't have any sweeps left.
That's very true, and Linne is not exactly a character overflowing with slow attacks.
They've only dealt 7 damage as opposed to 12 damage.
Yep, that's fewer sweeps than they could have played, and sweep is a really good card. Alright, Anji initiating now again at range 2, looking a little bit more hesitant this time. Maybe a bit shell-shocked.
I would be into... And she's got to get...
oh my gosh, the read!
So you have...
Responding Skyfangs into the cross. Linne takes 0 damage, hits for 3, and closes back into range 2. It is Linne's turn again. That was beautiful. That is what Skyfangs is built for. And now, Linne initiating here at range 2 with 2 gauge. This is not the Ultra, because that costs 3. What is this? EX Assault?
Oh, it's Diviner again.
No, it's not Diviner.
No.
There were no boosts in play, although she could have played it raw. No, it's just EX Assault, and Issei Ogesai is going to withstand that and rip her hand away. So it's 6 defenses. Issei Ogesai is going to take only, 5 minus 3 equals 2? 2 damage? Yeah, 2. Hit back for only 2 damage, but also... Anji draws 3 cards, Linne discards 3 cards. A really devastating resource swing, even though Linne clearly is ahead in a combat sense. She has 3 gauge to Anji's 1, and she's up by 6 life. Alright, Linne retreats to range 2 with her ability, getting a total of 3 cards. Anji gets 1 more card, putting him at a hand size of 8, so he's probably going to try to spin some cards this next turn. I can't believe we got to see the cross call out. That was beautiful.
I can't believe it. I think it's the opposite of that. I don't like Skyfang.
I love a good cross catch when it's a hard read, right? The fact that it was at range 2, where Skyfangs doesn't hit, is what made that beautiful to me.
Well, but you could have just been playing Skyfangs for the 3 armor.
I choose to believe. I think it was for awesome reasons, not for boring reasons. Oh, man. Anji with 1 gauge, 8 cards in hand, probably doesn't have a very efficient way to create a cancel chain that will pair his hand size down so he doesn't have to discard for an turn. Please note, though, discarding for an turn is not necessarily a problem.
It's suffering from success, but a cancel into a strike using ability.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. That would strip some cards away relatively quickly. And if he has any movement related cancels like Zessin, I think it's called, the Wind. Oh, or this one. Suigetsu no Hekobi. Now move 1, +1 armor, +1 guard. Jumps into range 1, is considering the cancel. So notably, if he doesn't cancel, he'll draw 1 and then discard for hand size. That's fine. Overdrawing and then discarding down is totally reasonable. And that's what he's doing. Goes up to 8.
Suffering from success.
Suffering from success, yes. Yeah, landing Issei Ogesai. Oof. Big swings both ways. 1 armor, 1 guard. Now, that doesn't seem like it does much on his own, but he can use his ability to basically make it +1 armor, +3 guard, as long as he's willing to take the -1 speed. So it does have its uses. Discards a copy of block, that makes sense.
And with that amount of defenses, -1 speed is generally a lot less impactful.
Alright, Linne backing up to range 2. Using her ability again, draws a total of 3 cards. So she's now at a 6-card hand. Anji back up to 8, of course. Note that hand size is only checked after you draw at the end of your turn. So if you strike, you don't have to check for hand size regardless. Oh, there's Essen. +1 power now, push her pull 1. Gets her back to range 1. Cancels. Probably going to see a strike. Is it an EX? I love EX attacks. It is an EX attack. Alright.
Well, you talked about his ability comboing with that boost, but EX attacks combo just as well, if not better.
That's true.
+1 armor, +1 guard.
That's true. He's got, so he has a grand total +1 speed, +2 power, +2 armor, +2 guard. That's nearly impossible to deal with. Alright, yeah, so he's got EX Grasp into Focus, and even Focus, which naturally counters Grasp, is not going to trade particularly well. Focus takes 3 and deals 2, right? Like, this is trading up against Focus due to the large number of boosts in play.
It is a lot of resource expenditure for that, though.
True, yeah. Generally, if you have that much in play, you would like to see it get you a clean win. But instead, Focus trades, giving Linne yet another gauge. She's now at 4 gauge to Anji's 1, and Linne at range 1 with 6 cards in hands. -1 speed, ignore guard, now strike, hit, gain advantage. Oh, because EX Grasp just went down. Right.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
She can just play a speed 7 or speed 6 Grasp, excuse me, and it will ignore guard, and Anji can't really do much about that. Yeah.
But it's not particularly high payoff, though, is it? It's
no,
just...
well, it's positioning an advantage, and that
Yeah.
may well give her 3 gauge ultra payout at range 2. The next strike. Oh, although yeah. So Anji Wild Swing's Dust has 4 guard, doesn't matter. This attack ignores guard, so he takes 3, is stuns. Linne gains advantage. Is deciding where to put Anji. My guess is range 2 for the follow-up. It's not, actually. She puts him at range 3, and then uses her ability to go back to range 2 and get a full hand of 7 cards. Alright, that makes sense.
Yep. I was expecting either that or to boost.
Oh, to boost to move Min to range 2 and then strike. That would... Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Alright. Whew. Man. Anji did so well early, but now he's down by 8 life and 4 gauge. And 1 card in hand, arguably, although I think that's not very important.
Yeah, I think... And it wasn't even a matter of early game overexpending. Sometimes you get a really strong early game because you burn through all your resources. I think in this case it's just a matter of made some good early reads, and then Rose has come back and made some just as impressive reads herself.
Yep, back to back to back, the EX sweep into the Skyfangs to catch cross. Defending with the focus into the quote-unquote unbeatable grasp. I don't know if it was actually unbeatable because I don't know if EX crosses online, right? That would have been the remaining speed 7 option. I'm not sure if he had a focus either, actually. I guess because EX focus also would absorb that. Nevertheless, looking rough for Anji here at range 2, trying to figure out what to do with this 6-card hands.
Anji does have some good mid-speed tools, and if you are down on life, you do want to hit those mid-speeds, get those unbalanced trades in your favor.
Yep. Regrettably, I think we have seen both copies of Ren hit the discard pile, and Shitsu, which is often a mid-speed, does not work well when you're cornered. It kind of loses to everything in some degree or another.
Yeah.
You can usually just boost Okazami for value. One of them has been boosted. Okay, he's initiating at range 2. EX Moongyre in response. That's not going to be good for Anji. Linne outspeeds, hits for 4, advances 2, putting her at range 1. Anji, although not stunned, advances 3, sailing past her. Or perhaps soaring. I don't know. He flies over here. Misses. Linne on her turn, mix up to range 2 and strike from hand. That's got to be Divine Blaze. I'm convinced of it. Yep, and here's the focus.
I hope it's...
Yep, it's Divine Blaze. Yeah, so focus withstanding this attack, so it doesn't quite kill. 7 power minus 2 armor is 5 damage. Doesn't actually even stun. But she does gain advantage. Anji hits back for 4, draws a card, gets a gauge. That could be significant. Notably, his 2 gauge ultra does not keep him alive, though, with no printed defenses and 3 remaining life. He's in kind of bad shape.
You need your 3 gauge one. And your opponent having advantage at range 2 while you have 3 life is...
Yep, it would appear Linne is cashing in that advantage to take the Veil off action. That boost allows her to gain a gauge and also enter her Exceed mode, which she has 4 continuous boosts in her gauge that she can play, allowing her to gain plus power repeatedly, and also reuse these great stat boosts with before close 1, +1 power, random discards, and lots and lots and lots of advantage. She is looking for a way to seal the game guaranteed, and she is probably going to find it.
Before close 1 and +1 power.
Yeah. Okay, we have a badass cancel. So plus power, speed, armor, guard. Your attack is EX. That, to be clear, that's same thing. Anyway. Into Wild Swing Cross, which outspeeds. Linne evades. Hits for 2. Gains gauge. Anji loses cleanly. That boost unfortunately wasted. And now Linne with her turn at range 4. Anji with 1 life, 3 cards in hand, 1 remaining gauge. Oh, this is rough. I think we're going to see the before close boost. Yep. There it is. Now strike before close, hit gain advantage. With an EX attack on top of all that. Diviner? No, Diviner. It can't be Diviner.
Is it dive?
It is dive, and amazingly enough, Anji actually wild swings the block, giving him a little bit longer of a lifespan. That is 7 power. He must full block in order to survive. 6
and
armor.
Linne will now have advantage.
And yes, and Linne has advantage thanks to that boost effect. He had an Ultra in hand. He's going to be spending that, so he has 6 armor right now thanks to block's effect. Just cutting 1 more card will allow him to survive the attack. Naturally does so. And Linne's advantage to get range 1. Anji with 1 card left in hands. Linne with only 2, mind you. This could be a change cards action if she doesn't think she can seal it with whatever she has in hand. She evidently does, though. Just defense hits the board. Plus 3 armor, now strike after lose all armor. Anji responding with the last card from hand. What do we think it is?
Assault?
What? Oh. Okay, well, it was stylish if nothing else. Yeah, it plays Kachu Fugetsu Kai. So, he dies. But he's not stunned.
Yeah.
Yeah, she hits with Tenacious Mist. Just a nice, clean, speed 5 hits.
Yep.
Yeah. Basically, Cross might have beaten that. I think Cross would have evaded, but not done any damage. Whew. Brilliant play. That's going to close the set, actually. Linne tearing through Anji for most of that game. Well played.
That's a 2-0 for Rose.
Thank you very much for joining me, Reggie. Yeah, sorry you couldn't get into the room.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know if it was clear to the viewers, but I've been commentating this game blind.
Yep, just describing things without actually being able to see the game.
It's fine. I was tracking game state in my mind.
Oh, man. Probably doing it better than I was, and I was looking at the table.
Yeah, well, I try.
All right. Thanks for joining me. Of course, everybody, drink water. It's good for you. Stay hydrated. I'm going to go, wind down because that got me keyed up. That was awesome.